Welcome everyone, Brent Fikowski here, again, the Professor Project, and today we are talking about grip strength. We've had lots of comments about this, and I've said this before, I think in some podcasts and maybe even on some Professor Project stuff, that there are two things that are tested a lot in CrossFit, over-tested really, and those are your grip strength and your overhead positioning. So we will have a video on overhead positioning and what that means. This one is about grip strength, but there's a little more to it than that. This is hopefully going to blow your minds a little bit, and this is a classic example of people asking a question and they're not really asking the right question. So they'll say, Brent, I need to improve my grip strength. And I know from experience, a lot of people have asked me this personally, and I've sort of drilled it down with them, and I'm like, well, why? Give me an example of where you struggle with your grip. And we go, and we go, and we go, and we go. And then before we know it, we get to the actual root of the problem, and it's not what they think, and I'm not going to give them the solution that they thought was going to be the solution. So this is going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited about this. I've been brainstorming a lot, so I've got a lot of notes, and hopefully by the end of this, we've got like a really cool place to start, give you some homework, and we might need like a second video later to flush out some even more ideas after you guys kind of chew on this and we all learn together. It's going to be sweet, but there's going to be a lot of stuff for you to learn today, so it's going to be cool. So just kind of want to talk about this a little bit. There are a variety of grips. Grip strength means different things to different people. And for example, if you are a strongman competitor, you compete in Highland Games, there are actual competitions dedicated to grip strength. So they have this like platform that's 2 feet off the ground. They have like 50 different things around the platform. They have chalk, and then there's like all these different things you have to pick up and put on there, or there's like, you know, how much can you pinch grip and hold, and so like actual people training specifically to have the strongest grip in the world, or the most enduring grip in the world. Just to give you an example of like people that take this very seriously. So before I get to telling you like the quick fix to fix your grip, because there isn't one, I need you to understand what grip is, and this is what grip is. Grip has 5 different things. I borrowed some of this, full disclosure, from ironmind.com. I don't have any affiliation with them, but they do strongman stuff, and they have all this grip training stuff. Ironmind.com. They have a bunch of this stuff. Some of this stuff is on here, and I added some stuff that they missed, I think. But they sell a lot of cool stuff on there, and they talk about grip strength, and just if you want to go on there, so full disclosure. 5 things. So we're going to start with this. The prime mover. That means what are you moving the most? And we're looking at either a crush grip or a pinch grip. So a crush grip would be like shaking someone's hand. Another example would actually be crushing a bar like this, or crushing something like that, like a pop can. A pinch grip is sometimes what you might see in rock climbing, or if you're picking up a pencil that's really heavy, let's say, and you're pinching like this. And so when you crush grip, a lot of the time, it kind of depends on the style of the crush grip as things go down there, but mostly in the crush grip, you're using these 2 fingers. That's where most of the strength is coming from. It's the palm of your hand and these 2 fingers. In a pinch grip, a lot of it is going to come from your thumb, which, you know, primates are the only animals in the world that have that, which gives us like an advantage grabbing stuff, and that's why we can, you know, type and do all this cool stuff that humans do. A lot of that comes from the thumb, and some of the pinch grip actually comes from your pinky, because if you're grabbing something really, really wide, it's usually these 2 things, like if you're grabbing a really big football or a really big basketball, these are the muscles here. It's this connection here that's doing a lot of the work. These, sometimes not so much, but again, if you're pinching like this, obviously it's these 3. Maybe you're pinching like that. So those are different types of pinch grip and crush grip. That's the prime mover, the prime muscles, the fingers doing the work. Hand position. You've got open and closed. So you can have a pinch grip that's open, like if you're grabbing a basketball, it's still a pinch grip, or you can have a crush grip that's open, something like this. This would still be considered a crush grip, or if it was a little bigger than that, but it's big. And then obviously you can have closed grip pinch, which would be something really small. Like if I was to pick this up, that's closed grip pinch. Closed grip crush would be something like this. Now intensity, this should be fairly obvious for CrossFitters. You either have a 1 rep max or endurance. So for example, you could have, I could give you an empty, an inflated basketball that probably weighs like, I don't know, a pound, and I'd say hold it as long as you can. That would be endurance. Or I could give you a you know, like say a thick, something like this, and I could hang weight from it. I could hang plates from it, and I could say, pick it up off the ground. You pick it up once, you're done. And we're going to add more weight until you fail. That's a 1 rep max. Just like in CrossFit, you could say, you know, do 100 squats with an empty bar, or do the heaviest squat you can possibly do. So you've got endurance, and you've got 1 rep max. So this is the stuff I kind of stole from ironmind.com. Next, we have the usage. So this is a little different than things you typically see in strongman competitions, where on one situation, most of the stuff we've been talking about has been a hold. So once you get in that position, the goal would be to hold that as long as you can. The other opportunity there is when you are doing endurance work, you're doing grip, regrip. So this is going to come up a lot in CrossFit as we kind of dig into this, is you are going to, let's say you're doing hang cleans, you're gripping, you're letting go, you're gripping, you're letting go, and you're repeating. Kettlebell swing, same thing. There's an intense aspect here of gripping, and then you relax. You're doing chest to bar pull-ups. You bring here, you relax. You're doing muscle-ups, you get to the top, you let go, you come down, you re-grip. So you're actually opening, closing, opening, closing. Same thing if you're doing a legless rope climb. There's an open and a close and an open and a close. It's endurance, but it's not an endurance static hold. It's an endurance grip, re-grip hold. Imagine doing something like this for 10 minutes as opposed to holding it like this for 10 minutes. A little different. And the final one, we talked about the hand position, whether it's open or closed, but the final one is your hand relative to your body. So, for example, if you're doing a pull-up, we could have double hand over, double hand under. If you have like rings, they might look like this when you're pulling. If you're doing a deadlift, you could have both hands over, you could have both hands under. If you're doing farmer's carries, they're going to be at your side. And also your hand relative to your body, again, they're here down by your sides or above your head. It's going to be a little bit different straining on your body as a whole and on your hands and your ability for blood to flow, let's say, up to your hands. You know, it's like 15% harder than it is for the blood to flow down if it's below your heart. So those are the 5 things that make up grip. It's like a lot. Now, so when people ask about grip strength, they go, well, I want to get grip heavy. So they start doing stuff that hurts their grip, and they're like, sweet. But when we talk about CrossFit, almost 9.5 times out of 10, we're talking about crush grip, closed hand, endurance, grip, re-grip, and hand relative to body is double overhand. Let's go over that one more time. When we're talking about CrossFit competitions and doing CrossFit WODs, the stuff you see on your board at the gym, pretty much 95% of the time, you're going to have crushing grip like this. Your hand's going to be closed like this. It's going to be endurance. It's not going to be for 1 rep. It's going to be for multiple reps. You're going to be grip re-gripping, which we already talked about, which I think makes a lot of sense. And the hand relative to your body is going to be double overhand. So things like hang snatches, kettlebell swings, toes to bar, chest to bar, ring muscle up, pull-ups, strict pull-ups, deadlifts, hang cleans, clean and jerks, like all that stuff. Your hands are basically here or above your head, just over and over and over and over and over again. Some things that contradict that a little bit would be if you're doing farmer's carry, that is crush grip, closed hand, endurance, and then these two are a little different. So they're going to be down at your side like this instead of like this. And they're not going to grip, re-grip, you're going to be holding. Another example is the rope climb. All those things are essentially the same, except the object is right here. And because of this motion, it's still crushing, but there's a little more pinky involved just in the way you have to grab it because it's here, which makes a big difference. Other example would be a stone or flipping a tire. That's actually going to be open hands. So you'll find a lot of CrossFitters that actually have really good grip strength, or they perceive they do, in things like chest to bars and hang cleans and kettlebell swings. They go and they pick up a stone or they flip a tire a couple times and their grip's blowing up. It's because it's different. Or they go rock climbing. It's very different. They start pinching all of a sudden and they're screwed. They start doing open hand and they're screwed. Because it's just a different way to use the similar muscles. So there you go.